lights are out, you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just remember. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just remember. Just remember. Just remember. Just remember.
RICMOTECH, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, RICMOTECH.com.
After an incredibly close race last week at Watkins Glen between James Holtzer and Nicholas Vroman, they get set to do battle once again here for the first race of the round of 8 of the playoffs here for the RICMOTECH Truck Series from Chicagoland Speedway. Good evening, everybody. My name is Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening here tonight. Alongside me, as always, my broadcast partner, Angel Santiago. And Angel, we saw a great race where Holtzer was able to come up from behind on Vroman on tire strategy and able to keep that car under him at Watkins Glen last week. This week, he's going to have to do more of the same here at Chicago.
Yeah, it was quite a surprise, honestly, from the way that that race started. It really looked like Vroman was going to just drive away with it, and it's like Holtzer just pulled something out of his the the hat trick, he pulled something out and he figured it out and was able to pull away with the victory, putting on a fantastic show for us here in the booth and all the fans. And today we go to Chicagoland, and this place is nothing short of exciting.
Yep, it certainly is. And it's going to be even more exciting, seeing as though the the official series just finished up here at Chicagoland over this week. So these guys will have more than enough practice getting ready for the race here tonight.
Man, I've got enough practice. I want to go out there and race with him, Frank.
It certainly has been quite a bit. As we get set to go down now to the grid here for tonight's race, Kyle Knapp takes the pole with a 30.787. Jeremy Clifton missing that pole by 3/100ths of a second. Those two will make up row number 1. The aforementioned Nicholas Vroman and Jordan McGraw will make up row number 2, with James Holtzer and Mike Rominger in row number 3. Ed Morris and Michael Thwaites will make up row 4. Alan Hilton and Christian DeBoer will make up row 5. The top 9 qualifiers all within a tenth of that pole time.
My goodness, how fast that is. Now we move on to row number 6, where they weren't much further off than that 1/10 of a second from the leader. But nonetheless, David Elliott, John Sterling in that 6th row. Bryce Sinisak and Tom Massey are in that 7th row. And rounding out your field are Wallace Boyce and Rob Griffin, who, along with Tom Massey, decided not to take a qualifying lap tonight. But really, everybody who attempted a qualifying lap within, just over a tenth. I mean, it's insane. The speeds here are going to be crazy, and everybody's prepared for tonight's race.
And all south of the 31-second bracket. Weather conditions here tonight, partly cloudy. Temperature at 70 degrees here tonight. Track temperature's up, though. It's up at 97 degrees. That means it's going to be very, very slick around this racetrack here today.
Man, that just means these trucks are going to be fighting loose. They're going to be slipping and sliding. And as if Chicagoland isn't fun enough, you add that aspect into it with some long green flag runs like the RICMOTECH Truck Series is used to. My goodness, we're going to have a fantastic show tonight for everybody.
It certainly is. 16 drivers take the grid here for tonight's race. Getting set to go coming out of turn 4, Kyle Knapp, who collected his first pole award of the season, leads them out of turn number 4. Pace truck is off. 135 laps from the Chicagoland Speedway. We're green.
As you mentioned, Kyle Knapp with the pole. No surprise, Kyle Knapp has shown speed at a track like this when we were at Kansas. Jumps off to first. Jeremy Clifton going to move into second. It's going to be 3 wide for third. That'll be Nicholas Vroman, Jordan McGraw, and I believe that was James Holtzer on the outside. He'll lose a couple spots. Didn't quite get that run he wanted there into 1 and 2.
Guys, in the playoffs, you can see with the blue splitter, the blue shading over the windscreen and the blue spoiler, one guy up towards the front. You'll notice that is missing that is last night's winner in the ARCA Series, Ed Morris. Just missed out after a 6th place finish at Watkins Glen last week. Just missed out making the round of 8, but just clinched his ticket to the next round for the ARCA Series on Monday night.
And that's what's fantastic for Ed, being able to run both of these series and running as well as he is. No, he's not competing for the championship here, but I think that takes off all that pressure to go out and succeed both nights. Now he can focus on his ARCA. You see him doing well, and here he can just relax and go race, and I think it's showing. He's running nice, solidly up here in the top 5, already up 3 spots. Our biggest mover so far to start this race.
Picked up an incredible win at Michigan last week, running out of fuel, coming to the line on a one-stop strategy. So a big win for him last night. Coming into tonight's race, Kyle Knapp, Jeremy Clifton, and Nicholas Vroman. Right now, your current top 3. And one thing you're going to notice as the run goes on tonight, single file, the inside line is going to be the faster way around here. But if you want to get around somebody, you're going to want that outside line as the run goes on.
And that outside line will really come in handy, as you mentioned, trying to pass people. But just overall grip-wise, I mean, once these tires start wearing out, and they really do wear out at a track like Chicago, you're going to be slipping and sliding, and that outside really just allows the truck to rotate better. You can kind of swing that right rear out a little bit and kind of just ride around that middle lane. The middle lane is where you're going to want to be. Nothing too much higher unless you have no other choices. That middle lane is really going to come in handy later on for grip and just overall driving ability that you can get with it.
If your favorite pastime is falling to the back of the field, you can run this place full out for the first dozen or so laps, but then again, you'll be falling pretty quick through the field with no tires. So at a racetrack like this, where you do want to run as fast as you can, you do have to save tires. And by letting off just a little bit, you can keep up that pace and save the tires to help yourself later on in the run.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be very, very important for these drivers to save their tires, But at the same time, there's only 16 trucks out on track, so there's only so much you can do. A lot of these guys are just going to go, so you can't also hold back too much. You got some of the best drivers out here, and it's going to be hard to make some passes later on. So it's really going to be finding that balance of early run speed along with that late run speed, because you know we're going to have green flag runs here.
Single file running here as of right now. People just trying to get their bearings. Close battle between Alan Hilton, who's another big mover, running in that 7th position. He's sitting right behind Mike Rominger in the 9, and James Holtzer in the 99. That 2 looking very, very strong here in the early going. Got a couple of positions off the jump and is now positioning himself to try to make it into the top 5.
I wanted to ask you before this race started and kind of just, got past me at one point. James Holtzer and, of course, Nicholas Vroman have dominated this season. But if you're going to choose a driver tonight that you think could win this race and upset those two, who do you have your eye on possibly?
My eye, I think, would probably be on, I know this is going to sound very original, but I think Ed Morris has a very good chance, especially if he can play the strategy game tonight the way he played it last night. He's got a very good shot at it. I think Mike Rominger, who does have a win this season, he could possibly play spoil. He could lock himself into the next round tonight. Kyle Knapp and Jeremy Clifton, those two have also been running very strong. Knapp not in the playoffs. Clifton is. So there's a couple of guys that could dethrone the 95 and the 99 here tonight.
Well, if I had my money, it would be on this 51 of Jeremy Clifton. He's ran well the last couple weeks. And specifically, I said Kansas earlier because these two tracks, they're so similar in their racing style. And it really reminds me one of the other. Obviously, Chicago having that arced backstretch where you're not really exactly going straight there. So, but nonetheless, Clifton finished 3rd at Kansas earlier this season behind James Holtzer, your winner. So I don't see why he can't be somebody to come up here and upset these guys, and clearly qualified well and running up here in the 2nd spot right now. I'd have to say that he's got a pretty good chance.
Now, minus last week at Watkins Glen, where he came home in stone dead last, he has had such a good run over these last couple of weeks. Had a great race at Atlanta, finished a solid 6th, but he was up and battling for a majority of the race. Of course, the iRacing Super Speedway had a solid run there as the last race before the playoffs began. And as you had mentioned, that 3rd place finish at Kansas, Clifton's been on a roll. This could be a perfect scenario for him to break through and get his first win of the season.
Yeah, I'm a little worried right now. I love exactly what you said, but worried me right there. I saw him coming off of turn 2. He started to push up ever so slightly, and I think if it's lap 12, he's starting to push up that much. I think he may have been giving it too much on the early going. We're going to have to see exactly what that means. Vroman is usually pretty good with tires, but the best tire saver in the business in the RICMOTECH Truck Series is that man, that number 99, last week's winner, James Holtzer. We see him fall to the back in some of these tracks that, require some tire saving, but at the end of that run, Holtzer always finds his way back around.
He's starting to distance himself from Mike Rominger and Alan Hilton now, and starting to focus more on the back bumper of the 7 of Ed Morris. As we look a little bit further back, John Sterling in a little bit of a battle in that number 3, was side by side for a moment there with Christian DeBoer in the 56. DeBoer maintains the position, as Bryce Senizak also coming under fire from David Elliott just behind him.
I'm a little surprised to see Bryce a little far back here in 12th. He had an okay-ish run last week. I know he was kind of up and down at the Glen. Had that great run at Atlanta the week before. I'm sorry, not Atlanta. I got my tracks wrong. Sorry, everybody. But nonetheless, I know he had a real good race the week before. And then, going back to where he finished last time here, he finished top 5 at Kansas. So I feel like I think Bryce can have a better day today. We'll have to see. Maybe he's in that maybe a bigger bit of a tire conservation maybe to start this race.
Lowest running of the playoff drivers right now is that 09 of Bryce Senizak. And David Elliott also coming off of a big run last night. Just got caught out by the pit strategy. Was one of the dominant cars at Michigan last night. And left himself a little bit not enough time to be able to catch up to Ed Morris before the end of the race. Came up a couple of seconds off of that number 7.
And that's great to hear. And I was able to catch the end of that race, and it was kind of disappointing not seeing him, maybe finish as well, as you mentioned, as what he was running. I don't know much about David Elliott. Don't know what his background is by any means, but I've loved the improvement he's shown over the season here with us at ESBN. I mean, he has done such a great job just slowly building and really almost had a big run and almost made the playoffs by winning that race at ISS. So I have to say I'm excited to see maybe what he does next year where, now he's got his feet wet a little bit. Again, I don't know much about him here in this series and what he's done with these leagues, but I got to say I've loved the improvement I've seen this season.
Christian DeBoer trying to scrub off that outside line right now. And again, when you're battling with somebody, that outside line is your benefactor. You can't, if the guy on the inside can't get the full run off the corner, that certainly hampers him and helps you with the momentum building. As DeBoer already trying to scrub that outside line off, get some fresh rubber down on it, get him some grip for later on in the race.
It's going to be one of those where, as we mentioned, you got to save tires. Running that high lane really does chew up your tires more and makes it a little bit more difficult for your truck. So I think maybe he's just testing the waters for a moment, but you can't stay up there too long. It's only beneficial once you've got those worn tires and you just want to kind of slide it, kind of almost dirt tracking it up on that high side.
And we saw it at Kansas earlier on this season. The inside line when running by yourself was the preferred and faster way to get around. The outside line was the passing lane. And again, as you had mentioned, with how similar those two tracks are, and you had mentioned the curved backstretch and the gradient banking at Kansas that they do not have here at Chicago. Those are really the only two differences, but other than that, they drive almost identically to each other.
Which is why, this combination of truck and both of these tracks are honestly my favorite in all of everything that's on iRacing, and I love, super speedways. I love being able to race at Daytona, New Smyrna, because I live, within an hour of both of them. And maybe some of my own hometown tracks in Connecticut, Stafford and Lime Rock. But just the way that these two tracks drive and these trucks, man, it is so much fun. You really do have to work hard to get around here. It's not just a plain simple riding around. You really got to be hitting your marks every lap, making sure you're saving those tires best you can.
Jeremy Clifton just had a big lag spike in that number 51. And now he has returned to his position. Kyle Knapp has led from pillar to post thus far. Jeremy Clifton second, Nicholas Vroman in third. That has remained unchanged from the green flag. James Holtzer in the 99 has gotten around Ed Morris in the 7, as Morris starting to fall into the clutches now of Mike Rominger in the number 9. Rominger, a playoff driver, surrounded by two non-playoff drivers in Morris and Hilton. Michael Thwaites, haven't mentioned him. He's also right on the back of that number 2 of Hilton, as here comes Rominger for 5th.
Yeah, Rominger looking to make that pass, looking like maybe Ed used up his stuff a little bit early on, or just trying to see what would work early on in the race. On a restart, honestly, I think that's a great idea. If that's the case, you want to push it hard in this first run, knowing you're going to lose a little bit on the back end. But at that point, you are kind of prepared for a late restart on fresh tires. Sometimes just because you have fresher tires isn't always exactly going to work out, especially compared to other people. If you don't know how your truck is going to drive, pushing it the way maybe some of these guys did to start.
Rominger and Morris side by side in the foreground. In the background, however, Rominger takes the position. In the background, Christian DeBoer and Jordan McGraw going side by side, the 56 and 34, as we ride on board with Ed Morris.
I was trying to find, jumped into it just a tad bit late. You saw he had a big run on the outside and just shoved Mike Rominger down the backstretch. You see him coming. They're coming down here to turn 1. Listen to all the off throttle time.
It's not a lot, especially compared to the Xfinity car by this time of the run, or even by the Cup car. It's not a lot of time you spend off throttle here. As I said, you can go about a dozen laps full throttle around here before you start to have some issues.
Well, the problem is here we are 24 laps into this, and you can see some of these trucks are really starting to struggle now, and you're going to see some of these guys like James Holtzer who do such a great job at saving their tires. Look at that. He's caught up now to the back bumper of Nicholas Vroman. That's not what Nicholas wants to see when your biggest competitor is right on your tail, but yet you've got another competitor right in front of you.
Slowly but surely caught up to the back of that top three. Has James Holtzer. Michael Thwaites now in the number 12, starting to get close with the back end of the 2 of Alan Hilton. As Thwaites trying to get the run. On board, you can see just how close these guys can get. Makes the dive going down into turn number 3, and the question for him is going to be, can he make it stick? Looks as though he's going to. That outside line is going to have a nice little run.
He got through there so well. He got onto the throttle a lot quicker than I thought he would have.
This means Thwaites has been saving some tires. See that too, just able to get that momentum. Doesn't matter how good you can get down into turn 1. It's that momentum on the outside, and that's what we were talking about pre-race. You want the outside if you're going to make a pass deep into the run.
And that's why you're going to see once some of these drivers have somebody on their tail and they see them catching them, they're going to move up about half a lane to a full lane, because now you're trying to throw off that guy behind you, forcing him to the inside where the truck, it takes so much to put the power down. Look at that. 3 trucks now to the outside. They're right up against the seam of those top 2 lanes.
Watch the run that Ed Morris is going to get on Mike Rominger as Morris went to the outside in 1 and 2. Rominger went to the inside in 3 and 4. Rominger catches the apron a little bit there. Very, very close coming out of turn 4. Morris has the advantage. Gonna get the position, at least as far as crossing the line, and he will be able to clear Mike Rominger going into 1.
That's a fantastic crossover move right there. You saw him peak high. He forced Rominger to go a little bit high. Then he kind of let them both kind of diamond that corner, come down, and that's when Rominger pushed up, and Ed Morris had to run down the front stretch and was able to dive it down into the turn. Here comes Alan Hilton now on the side of that number 9 car of Mike Rominger. Mike Rominger under attack, in danger of losing 3 spots within 2 laps.
Rominger, I wouldn't be too concerned because he's starting to get that momentum now, and turn 2 has a lot more momentum on exit than turn 4 does.
Here comes Thwaites.
Michael Thwaites running even a little bit higher than Rominger is.
He's just
so Rominger's now clear, and Hilton trying to attack to go forward 1 position, ends up losing 1.
Yeah, looking like Michael Thwaites there. He just said, I'm just going to push this 9 down the backstretch, get clear to the 2, pick them off one at a time. And I think that really worked out for those 2, but really hurt Alan Hilton there.
Battle between this quartet here has brought up Jordan McGraw and Christian DeBoer into this battle.
Oh, man, look at DeBoer all up against that. He's about to be the highest anybody's running right now.
He's been up there, as we noted, about 20 laps into the race. He's been working that outside lane in, especially in 1 and 2. 3 and 4, he's starting to move up just a little bit. But 1 and 2 is where you want to make the gains.
These guys are putting on a show back here.
Yep. For the Dream Scoring Series between both Maestros and RICMOTECH, we've done about 100 consecutive laps green between last night. No cautions in all 75 of those laps. As here comes Kyle Knapp into pit road from the race lead.
Interesting decision. Kyle Knapp, the leader, he gets to decide when he comes on the pit lane. This will only give him a bigger lead once these guys come down pit lane. Doesn't take much. I mean, these guys were almost 2 seconds off pace.
75% fuel fill here at this circuit. Would expect to go about another 10 to 15 more laps. I guess not. Here comes Jeremy Clifton coming in. Everyone's going to come in.
Oh,
Thwaites
no!
with a big slide. Did he make pit road? I don't think he. Yes, he did. Wow, Michael Thwaites had an interesting pit entry.
We'll jump back to that right now. Oh my God, I was just worried about Clifton there. I thought he wasn't gonna make it. Oh, the 12. Oh, wow. He just locked him up. He lost it. Woo! Great job there for Thwaites.
Great job there by DeBoer to realize Thwaites needed to make that cone.
God, this is interesting. What Holtzer staying out here along with Mike Rominger. I mean, this is going to lose him a ton of time.
Vroman elects to come in. Ed Morris, Jordan McGraw in this lap. John Sterling in as well. Holtzer and Rominger, the two holdouts. There they are on your screen right now. Kyle Knapp just passed Jeremy Clifton on track for P7 on track. Effective race lead we're expecting.
Man, look at Holtzer sliding in there.
It's the same thing happened with the 7 as with the 12 as well. It's trying to ease off of the banking and getting back onto the race and getting off into pit road. If you straddle that line, that's really going to upset the car, and that's what we saw with the 12 really stepping out.
Well, I mean, it's even worse when you're on such worn tires like they are, so it makes it that much more difficult to stop. I mean, you're carrying still a ton of speed at this racetrack, so you see Kyle Knapp coming across the start-finish line. We'll see what kind of lead he's got on James Holtzer's. James comes off of pit lane, and there goes Kyle Knapp and Jeremy Clifton around. You see Vroman coming right around as well, so he will cycle back here to the third position. Holtzer going to lose a couple spots here as he gets up to speed. Might lose 4 or 5.
Holtzer's going to go from third to at least 6th. Bryce Senizak had a great run on pit road. He's up to 7th now from 12th.
Wow, what a
Coming
job.
to pit road. Jumped quite a few people. Mike Rominger, however, did not have a great pit stop at all. He's down to 11th from 5th coming into pit entry.
We had 4 drivers just run their fastest laps of the day. As you see, Jeremy Clifton is all over the back bumper now of Kyle Knapp. Clifton got through his pit cycle pretty good, especially because Kyle Knapp came in a lap earlier, and here's Clifton all over his back bumper already.
Fastest driver from cone to cone on pit road was Kyle Knapp, the only driver to do it in sub 40 seconds to go from cone to cone.
Mike Rominger just put down the fastest lap of the day at 30.81, so trying to make up some of that time loss already. You see putting down the fastest lap by anybody here. But right now, all it matters is the 51 and the 42 as they battle it out for first place, 1.8 seconds almost to third place Nicholas Vroman.
Big dive there from Jeremy Clifton as Michael Thwaites and Mike Rominger battle for the 10th position. Rominger now takes it. The problem with that, though, is he's got about a second and a half before he gets to the back bumper of Christian DeBoer, as Jeremy Clifton all over the back bumper of Kyle Knapp here for the race lead. Wants to take it before Vroman gets a little too close.
Man, these guys are going to be right. This is really going to hurt them. If I were them, if I was Clifton, I'd be pushing Knapp as hard as I can to pull away from that man in third place who's tied for the series lead in wins so far this season.
And looking at the point standings right now, Holtzer, Vroman, Rominger, Thwaites, Senizak, Sterling, Clifton, and McGraw are the playoff drivers, and now Clifton takes over that race lead the first time tonight.
Wow, what a power move.
Has been passed on track.
Yeah, Clifton there just drove it hard in 1 and 2, got one big run off of 2, was able to get up to the back bumper of the 42, pull up right next to him and make that pass going into turn 3. So just it's all about setting up. You know, it can't always be done in that first turn. You got to set up for that next turn. And Clifton did it perfect, and he's now your new race leader here. 41 laps completed into this race.
Inside line will work on the early stages of the race, early stages of the run, but not as it goes on. About to take lap number 43.
Right now, Nicholas Vroman is in fact catching. He was 0.2 of a second quicker that last time around. He is looking to come up to the lead before James Holtzer can catch up, because, you know, Holtzer's looking to try to make up some time right now.
As Knapp keeping very, very close to that 51. Yeah, Knapp has only been passed on track once. As Alan Hilton right now in a battle between himself, Ed Morris, and James Holtzer for the 5th position. As those three running quite close. Holtzer starting to make up ground from the time that he lost by staying out a couple of laps on pit road. Going to look under Hilton now, and he will take that 5th position, at least for the moment. That outside line won't have come.
Oh, he's going to clear it. Wow!
Big slide there from Holtzer. As Hilton now will try to fight back going into 3.
I had no clue that was going to be the right camera angle for that, and it just so happened to work out perfectly to see exactly how close Holtzer's season could have come to an end right there.
Absolutely. Could have put himself on the back foot big time going into next week's race.
That's the intensity, man. That's what I love about a track like this. That's what I love about the playoffs here. You rack these guys back up, you reset their points, and James Holtzer is in just as good of a, you know, spot as Jeremy Clifton is. Right now, Jeremy Clifton is your leader, while James Holtzer is just trying to make up time. I mean, he is pushing this thing hard. And I love a guy like Alan Hilton. He's just not giving it up either. He's going to race him clean, but he's going to race him hard. He's making him earn it, man. I'm loving it.
Absolutely is. Lowest running of the drivers that are in the playoffs right now is John Sterling, running in the 13th position by himself. That's about 2 seconds to David Elliott ahead of him and about 10 seconds to Rob Griffin behind him. So Sterling right now is the one that's really on the back foot, as here comes Nicholas Vroman. He's back up here, and this pair has become a trio again.
Surprise, surprise, huh?
Exactly. So it is Clifton, Knapp, Vroman. Holtzer has just gotten around Ed Morris, as we are just about 50 laps into this race here tonight, round number 13 of the RICMOTECH Truck Series. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You are watching tonight's action here on ESBN. Do not go anywhere.
RICMOTECH high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, RICMOTECH has you covered. Hundreds of name brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, RICMOTECH.com.
Great racing action coming to you from Kansas Speedway here for the RICMOTECH High Performance Truck Series. As that's the 99 of James Holtzer getting a little bit too high and getting into the wall going into turn 1 as he was just about to begin the battle for second position. between Nicholas Vroman and Kyle Knapp. And now Vroman, for the first time tonight, looking to try to get ahead of that number 42.
Man,
Not letting it go easy, though.
what a battle that was shaping up to be, but what a battle we still got, man. These two guys are right on top of each other. Kyle Knapp is not giving it up. He's got no reason to. He's got a fast truck today. He can easily win this race. He's driving his wheels off right now, trying to hold off one of our series dominants in Nicholas Vroman. I'm loving this. Oh, my gosh.
And he is not running for points here tonight, at least as far as the championship is concerned. Kyle Knapp coming into tonight's race in 15th position in points. As if you're liking the action we've got for you tonight, there's still a heck of a lot more coming up this week here. Coming up at 10:05 p.m. Eastern Time, a little bit later on tonight, the Western States Racing League holds round number 6 from the Darlington Raceway. Tomorrow will be the Ghost 200 from Pocono for the Ghost Racing League. That'll be round number 6 for them as well. That will be a 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time start. The USRA's TNT Truck Series will take to the track at this track's sister Speedway. It'll be Kansas coming up for round number 2 of their series coming up on Thursday night. 4:50 p.m. Eastern Time to start. And then it'll be a Friday double. The Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series will hold round number 3 of their season from Daytona in the ARCA cars at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time. And then starting at 9:30 will be the Kool-Aid Monsters Motorsports New Gen Cup Series. They will be at Watkins Glen International for round number 4 of that season. So a lot of great action still to come here just prior to Valentine's Day here on ESPN.
Man, it's going to be exciting. You're right. Quite a couple of races here that I'm really excited for. But, man, the race right now we've got on track. These guys have figured something out to try to keep up with the man who dominated the first, really quarter of this race in Kyle Knapp. Here comes Ed Morris. He's making his way around, trying to take that 3rd position. And don't look now, but James Holtzer is still right there with him.
Ed Morris now trying to work the outside of Kyle Knapp. In that number 42, there is the 7 taking that position away. So this is indicative of Kyle Knapp running a little bit harder during this run than what he did previously, as he's really starting to fall back. Clifton now holds a 1-second lead over this group you're seeing right now. And look at all the damage on the right side of Holtzer's number 99.
Oh, man, you see right here as they come into one, just ever so quickly flying by. But, yeah, it looks, you see it's crumpled in a little bit. I think he should be all right. I'm not seeing a major difference in his lap times. We'll have to see. It's definitely slowed him down, though.
And it certainly will do that around here. Aerodynamics very, very important around a racetrack like this. As the 99 of Holtzer trying to find his way back to the rear bumper of that 42. Holds a second over Alan Hilton, who has Jordan McGraw for very close company with him for 6th. And Mike Rominger not that far behind in the 9. So Rominger, we had mentioned he's come out of pit road in the 11th position. He's worked his way up to 8th. So a nice little stint here for Mike Rominger's number 9.
Yeah, this is working out for him, having that lap fresher tires, again, really makes a difference for these guys. So you see him trying to make up some of that time right now. We'll have to see how much more he can gain. Looks like he should be able to gain maybe another spot or 2. But we are coming back close to green flag stops again. We'd say we're about maybe 10 laps away.
Yep, right around there. And you saw Rominger. I cringe every time I see something like that. Rominger straddling that apron in the tri-oval there. Very, very good way to get your car very, very upset at you. As it's Tommy Massey getting put laps down. Oh, getting put a lap down, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, right now it worries you, but man, straddling that white line down there in these trucks with old tires. My goodness, it's just a blast. You just really got to work the wheel and the throttle. It can really, really make for some tough racing here, but man, is it fun to do it.
I will say I lost a race to Tony Kanaan doing that on this server. Straddling that line. I got a little too comfortable straddling that line and ended up spinning out.
Oh, man. Man, you see Ed Morris all the way to the high side. You see Vroman trying to take that away from Ed Morris before he's got a chance to get a good run on him. That's just smart thinking ahead of time. Don't allow Ed to get to the back bumper and then figure something out. Go ahead and start taking his line away early before he even gets to you.
Yep, and that advantage, again, is a lot more noticeable down in turns 1 and 2. Coming off of 2, you get a great run. So it's 3 and 4 is the setup end of the racetrack. Turns 1 and 2 are the passing ends. But as I had mentioned earlier on, the inside line when running single file is the line to be in. And running outside is a little bit of a detriment. They're losing to Jeremy Clifton. Clifton solidly on the inside all the way around. Vroman and Morris changing up their lines are starting to fall back.
Yeah, that's true. And it just shows, how good that truck is handling for our leader, Jeremy Clifton. He's able to do really what he wants with it and put it where he needs it to work best for him. And you see him that time around, he was almost a 10th quicker than Nicholas Vroman.
I think Kyle Knapp caught the wall in turns 1 and 2 in that number 42 truck. As James Holtzer has gotten around him, and it doesn't look like he's got any damage on that right side, so he must have gotten off of it very, very quickly if he didn't get into it. As boy, there's a mess of cars. Right behind them, though, is Jordan McGraw trying to fend off Mike Rominger and Alan Hilton.
Man.
Tommy Massey's in this as well. Oh, and Massey's in the wall.
Oh, pulls it off a little bit, but great reaction there from Alan Hilton to get around him, give him plenty of room. But you're right, the battle there is fantastic, and it's important for Jordan McGraw, Mike Rominger. They're battling here for points right now, and when you're down to the final 8, running in 6th place might not be enough.
McGraw started in the 4th position. Right now, if you look at it, all the drivers came in here with 2,000 points. All the drivers that are running for the championship, at least, came in with 2,000 points. So right now, Clifton would become leaving as the points leader. Nicholas Vroman, James Holtzer, and then Jordan McGraw would be the points battle. So while this may be a battle for 6th on the racetrack, it's battle for 4th in points.
It just shows every bit matters. You got to keep racing no matter what happens. Mike Rominger lost a lot of time in that last exchange, but here he is trying to make up some of that. Trying to pull up into the 6th spot. Wow, Knapp gets into the wall good off of 2.
Yeah, he certainly got in the wall that time, no questioning it. As Kyle Knapp dives to the inside line. This is right around where he pit. We're on the 33 lap mark of the run. And he came into pit on lap 33.
Yeah, he's
struggling
out there.
Than he did.
Yeah, I think he's struggling right now with the handling of that truck. I think it's gotten a little bit too loose, maybe warmed up those tires too hard. Yeah, you see the truck doesn't even get to the bottom. It just immediately starts to slide up the track before he even gets to that apex. So you can tell it's those tires are just gone right now. He's just kind of hanging on for dear life. Not trying to pit too early, but Bryce Senesac will be the first driver on pit lane here in the 2nd set of pit stops.
Here come the leaders now. Jeremy Clifton, Nicholas Vroman, Ed Morris all in. Line astern, Tom and Massey. There you see the 09 of Senesac coming out. The 4 of David Elliott is the car at the far back of this group. And for Jeremy Clifton, that's his 1.7 second lead completely vanished. With a little bit of a slow pit entry for him. Rob Griffin into pit road. James Holtzer, now your effective race leader. And he will come down pit road.
Yeah, he can't.
Leaving Jordan McGraw out to lead a lap, so he'll get a bonus point.
Yeah, that's big for McGraw right now. Technically, you lose a spot by pitting later than Rominger did, but getting that chance to lead that lap, it'll really come in handy, especially when, you got everybody, like you said, lined up at 2,000 points coming into this round.
McGraw right now, the final holdout as everyone else has come into pit on that last lap, so McGraw would behoove him to come
There
down
he
pit
is.
road right now, and here he comes.
Oh, and the caution's out.
Yep, caution's out. Jeremy Clifton's around in the 51.
No. Oh, we got to jump back to this right now. Hold on, everybody. Did I click the right one? Nope, I didn't click the right one.
That's
Sorry.
Knapp coming out of pit road.
Here it is.
Here's Clifton coming back onto the racetrack in an immediate battle with Nicholas Vroman, and Vroman just cuts left.
Something.
He had a hardware issue there.
That has to be. Let's jump back
That
over
was-
here to Roman.
That was not intentional. You saw how quick and how hard
Sorry,
that
right, we'll get
wheel
this
snapped
correctly.
to the left.
All right, let's see if we can jump on. Jumping on board. Do you think this will be a good view?
I think so.
Let's see.
Watch how hard this wheel snaps to the left.
Oh yeah.
There's
Oh yeah.
Nothing he could do on that.
Yeah, you see it. You see the wheel just completely lock up on him there.
Something we're seeing more and more, because I remember when I started doing this, it was never really a thing. And even in the races that I would participate in, at times there were a lot. I never saw it. But now, since the last couple of updates, maybe the last 6 months or so, I've been seeing it a heck of a lot more. Just wheels just completely dying.
Yeah, I don't understand either. I can agree with you there. I feel like it's something that I've really heard as of late, and I've seen it myself. You know, thank the good Lord it hasn't happened to me, but I have seen it happen to quite a bit of my teammates and just people that I race with, where their wheels just lock up out of nowhere on them, and it's insane.
This certainly does benefit Jordan McGraw, however.
Yeah, does it ever? Wow.
Only driver on the lead lap. However, everyone else will take the wave around. So that advantage is completely gone. But McGraw will come out of this with the race lead, and Ed Morris.
And slightly fresher tires.
Yep. Couple laps fresher.
Man, can we bring Jordan in and talk with him after that?
Sure, why not? Let's do just that.
Let's find him. I think this just really worked out great for him.
Yeah, absolutely. As we'll
Yep.
try to find the driver of the 34. Here he is, Jordan. Frank in the ESBN booth. You got a copy, bud?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Boy, you turned out shining out of this scenario. You're going to have the freshest tires of the lot. You're going to come out with the lead. It's a nice little turn of events for you.
Yeah, I don't know how I don't know what the rules are going to be here. If it's going to make me drop once everyone did, because it came out right as I got to the line and it gave me a drop to the end penalty. So I'm not sure, but I mean, cars felt really good all race. Kind of was the odd man out there on that one restart and kind of fell back to the field. But all in all, having a lot of fun. Been racing really hard, and we'll see how this thing goes from here on out.
You've been really in a nice little battle between yourself, Alan Hilton, Michael Thwaites. You've been around those guys all night, and then most recently Mike Rominger. How is the track feeling? We know it's just ended the fixed series here just yesterday. How is the track feeling as compared to this last week?
Yeah, I wasn't able to get in any official races, but I've run here a couple of times already, and it feels. I don't know. It feels a little different, a little bit the same. It's just a lot. You got to save tire the first half of the run, and then just find clean air and go as hard as you can the second half. It kind of seems to be the strategy. And you start off and you try to keep the bottom line, keep ripping the white line just to save the right front, and then once you kind of feel the pace pick up, as it's dropping down, obviously the tire wear, but as you feel the need to pick the pace up, you move up high and just try to find clean air and go where everyone else isn't and try to make some passes.
All right, Jordan, it looks as though they're letting Ed Morris start ahead of you, so we'll let you go and plead your case to get back in front of him. All right?
All right.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, let's hope I
That's-
put him back in the right spots.
I mean, and that's the trouble, unfortunately, with cautions coming out in the middle of pit cycles, because you never know. Stuff like that can happen, and it mixes the field up. And speaking of mixing the field up, James Holtzer with damage, Kyle Knapp with damage, Jeremy Clifton with damage, Nicholas Vroman with hardware issues, we might see a first-time winner this season.
I'm loving the sound of it. I'm liking it.
Good.
And guess what? Your top 5 are all in the playoffs. I'm sorry, 4 of your top 5 are in the playoffs. And then Ed Morris, a guy who certainly is capable of being in the playoffs. So it's not like he doesn't deserve to be there, man. I'm loving it right now. But don't you just count out James Holtzer just yet. I think you're right. We're gonna see somebody new today. But Holtzer's gonna give us a run for our money.
Yep. They've aborted the start, waiting for everyone to get back around, and it appears as though the 34 has been allowed to get back in front of the 7.
Oh, that's great. That's great news. I mean, you knew there's nothing he could have done to get out of. That caution came out as he was inches from the commitment cone there. He could have done nothing to stop that.
Looking back through, we've only had 4 unique winners this season. Of course, Holtzer and Vroman have won 10 of the 12 races completed this year. Mike Rominger has 1 win, and Mike Franklin has the other. Franklin not here.
Here comes
Rominger sitting nicely in 3rd.
Yeah, so don't give up. It's you have your chances, man. And I mean, look at John Sterling. He was struggling earlier in the back. I don't know what was happening. Had a bad pit cycle and just kind of fell off the pace. But here he is in 5th place, our biggest mover so far, up 7 spots from his starting position.
Now, this might be a single file restart, since the restart rules are wave around start on the inside line. So this could be an entirely inside line start.
That's right.
As the pace car ducks off again. About to begin lap number 76. Green flag is in the air. We're back to racing.
All right, we are just really past that halfway mark, not by much, maybe by about 10 laps. So you still have to really be careful as to how you plan on finishing out this race. Second half of this race, still plenty of time to go. Plenty of time to make mistakes, is also plenty of time to really, make your way up the field. Here comes John Sterling to the bottom of Michael Thwaites. Michael Thwaites should just slide up. He'll lose maybe 2-3 spots here.
Look at Bryce Senesac trying to split the middle between Thwaites and DeBoer.
Wow. 3 wide.
Yep, Senesac, another driver we haven't spoken much about here tonight. He is a playoff contender, and we were just talking about where the playoff contenders were. It's a completely different top 4 now. McGraw, boy, 3 wide. Boy, there's a nice little gaggle of cars here. Thwaites on the inside. Holtzer right in the middle of it.
Oh, he wants to take it 3 wide.
He's got it 3 wide for sure.
Wow.
Front damage on DeBoer is going to hold him up. We'll get 2 there. Trying to get under that number 4 for what would be the 7th spot.
Look at the job DeBoer does there. He's going to back off and let the 99 stay in front of him, but he had a pretty good run off of 2.
Certainly did. His complexion of this race has completely changed.
And keep looking at that 56 up there, hitting those bumps. I love the way these trucks look when they're hitting the bumps. Man, we just missed it, though. We do have a new leader, Ed Morris, to the point.
Yep, Ed Morris back up front. Mike Rominger moves up to 2nd as Jordan McGraw falls back down to 3rd. Bryce Senesac running in the 5th spot. It's Ed Morris doing his best to play spoiler here. There's John Sterling right at the back of this front 4.
Man, what? Look at this. Neither 4 of these drivers were in the top 5 at one point earlier, and here they are battling for the lead here, Chicago.
We're looking at the top 4 in points earlier on, just before that caution came out, just for the pit cycle, I should say. Rominger and McGraw were battling for 4th. They're battling for the points lead coming out of tonight at this point.
Yeah, how insane. They couldn't figure out maybe who would get a couple of points there, and Mike Rominger, he wants to get up there and lead a lap as well, trying to take away some of that advantage McGraw had by leading a lap.
My, how 15 laps change is John Sterling. We saw him running as low as 14th, now running up in 4th.
And looking comfortable.
Yep.
Kind of minding his business.
Up here as well.
I told you, this is what I expected out of Bryce here in this race, and I think, maybe getting some of this clean air a little bit, getting up to the front of the pack is really benefiting him to run up here in 5th position. So keep an eye out for him. But Michael Swaits, he's shown some speed today. He's looking to recover. Didn't have a great restart. Lost quite a few spots, but I think he's trying to pick them off one by one again.
That single file restart certainly did make it interesting. Again, a restart procedure is if you are the lucky dog or if you get a wave around, you start at the tail of the field on the inside line. And that is exactly what everybody did, with everybody taking the wave around, Ed Morris getting the lucky dog, and Jordan McGraw being the leader, the only car on the lead lap. Everyone was then forced to start on the inside line, which is why that restart looked the way it did.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, you think something like a single file restart is simple, you know? You just got to go. You don't really got to battle anybody, but it honestly is all about getting the perfect start, because at that point, you're going to get run over and you're going to get freight trained. So, in my opinion, it's a little bit more difficult.
Get the perfect start and get to the outside as quickly as you possibly can to try to either take advantage of the run, or B, to stop it, since you can't pass to the left prior to the start line. As Ed Morris still now trying to play spoiler, as things have sort of settled out here as we work lap 84 of 135. One caution thus far, it was for Nicholas Vroman and Jeremy Clifton. Vroman still in pit road. Jeremy Clifton running in the 11th position right now. About to take lap 75. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching the RICMOTECH High Performance Truck Series here on ESBN. Back after this.
RICMOTECH High Performance Sim Racing Equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, RICMOTECH has you covered. Hundreds of name brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, RICMOTECH.com. RICMOTECH High Performance Sim Racing Equipment. There's only one place to go, RICMOTECH.com.
You are watching round number 13 action, first race in the round of 8 of the playoffs here for the RICMOTECH High Performance Truck Series. Getting on the high line right now is Bryce Senizek trying to hold off James Holtzer, as Holtzer right in the middle of it once again, trying to get up to that 5th position.
Yeah, Holtzer is trying to get by Senizek. Senizek is taking away his line. Holtzer's going to cut deep here, see if he can't get himself a nice run through 1 and 2, maybe down the backstretch. Senizek doing everything he can to hold off his biggest competitor right now, as Holtzer gets to his left rear quarter panel. Going to see if he can drive it in deep. Wow. It's not going to be enough, though.
We haven't seen Senizek up here towards the front much here tonight. Meanwhile, we have seen Holtzer battling for a top 3 position through multiple stages of this night. Senizek will now certainly have the advantage on the outside of turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, Holtzer is trying to fight hard to get past Senizek, and he's not going to give him an inch, and he's not supposed to. These guys are playoff competitors right now.
Yes, they are right now. As far as the playoffs are concerned, they're battling for 5th in the playoffs. 6th on track, 5th in points. Alan Hilton, David Elliott right there as Ed Morris right now playing spoiler up at the front of this field.
Man, Holtzer's right up against that white line down there, trying to clear Senesac. Can't quite do it. As you said, time and time again, that outside run off of turn 2 is just too good to beat.
You're 20 laps into this run, about 15 laps green. As Senesac now jumps to the inside to cover Holtzer off. As here comes Alan Hilton to the outside. It's a combination of being on the wrong line for Holtzer and that right side damage that's really hindering that number 99 right now. And Holtzer will lose that spot to Alan Hilton. Hilton up to 7th, Holtzer back down to 8th.
Man, that's even better the way that worked out for the 09, putting an extra truck between him and James Holtzer. They continue to do battle here, man, for 6th place. This is just what a battle for 6th, and these leaders still lined up bumper to bumper. Now Michael Thwaites has put himself into the picture in 5th place, inching ever so closely to this top pack here.
First through 5th right now have broken away to the tune of about 2.5 seconds over that battle you're seeing. You saw a moment ago between Bryce Senesac and Alan Hilton. Those two are still side by side. James Holtzer battling now with the 4 of David Elliott, if we can go back to that. There we go. Holtzer now has that outside line, trying to do what Hilton just did to him a couple of laps ago. Senesac still holding firm on that high line. He'll get the run here, and he'll get one heck of a push from Holtzer. Holtzer will take that position cleanly, trying to just get up a little bit higher than Senesac. Can't quite make the move on the outside.
No, you got to be careful with those marbles up top there. You can really upset the balance of this this truck if you do that, man. But Senesac is all the way high, and he's doing a great job running that high side, not giving Holtzer the room he wants. Holtzer's a little bit higher, going to try to carry a run. Senesac throws the ever slightest block, just enough to hold Holtzer off, man. Oh, Holtzer's got to be frustrated, but you know what? I'm loving this right now.
Outside line racing. Around these racetracks, you either got to outweight the driver in front of you going into turn 1, see if he goes low or high, or you have to just get a little bit higher, as we're on board right now with Holtzer. Try to, there's a big move to the outside there from Holtzer. Wonder if he got a little help. He's just trying to shove that truck to the outside of Senesac.
Man, Senesac's got his hands full right now, but so does Holtzer. I can't believe these trucks are hanging on right now.
While all of this is happening, that 5 up at the front are getting away little by little. Something's telling me Holtzer, if he's having this much trouble getting around Senesac, who again, Senesac was rarely inside the top 10 during the first half of this race, I don't think Holtzer's going to be able to catch them. He's going to need a caution.
Yeah, he's definitely going to need a caution. Come down, we just passed 40 laps ago. This race is really on the back end, ready to be finishing up soon. We do have another set of green flag pit stops to do here soon. Give them about 5 or 6 laps and they should be in their window. But man, Holtzer's trying with a big run off of turn 4.
Holtzer goes to the inside. David Elliott trying to follow through in that number 4. Alan Hilton has fallen off the back of this. Going to try for a slide, which means Senesac's going to have to go up and under. Holtzer now has the preferred line, but he does not have the run, and Senesac is going to clear him going into turn 3. But won't take that outside line, though.
Yeah, Holtzer's going to have this run down off of 4 and down the front stretch here. Nothing Senesac. I don't know. Senesac got off of turn 4 pretty good there.
It's that advantage of the inside line, able to take all of the racetrack getting in and taking it all coming off.
Oh, man. Holtzer's just got to be scratching his head like, man, I had it and I couldn't. I just couldn't do it there.
It's the big dive that got him the position. Look at David Elliott. He certainly will not be helping that 99. You see Primetime Motorsports on the sides of both the 09 and the 4. So no help from the 4 for the 99.
You know, this is helping not just these guys, but Oh, I mean, it's not just helping. There he is. There he is. Oh, no, it's just not going to work. And the worst part is James is just going to use up his tires in the process as well. Yep. Which I think is why you've seen them lose so much time.
He's going to end up losing that position to the 4 of Elliott if he's not careful. He's got him clear, though, put him through 3. But again, up and under from Senizak.
Oh!
Big block by the 99.
Man, that could have been a big wreck right there. The 99 is frustrated, but he's going to have the preferred lane. Wow, Senizak sends it into 1 and 2, but it won't be enough. He can't come up in front of him.
No, it will not be. As Holtzer threw a big block down the front, killed that momentum of the 09, and now is doing to Senizak what Senizak's been doing to him.
Yeah, but Senizak's fighting back hard as they're battling for the lead. I hate to do it, but Rominger's right there. They were all the way down on the apron, but it's a battle with McGraw as well. These guys are right on top of each other. Ed all the way to the top seam, straddling it up there. Wow.
See this in IndyCar racing. You fan out 3 abreast to get air to the front wing to get them to turn. You don't have to do that much in these.
Oh, but Ed does it perfect right there. He's just going to cut that air off of the 9 truck and really upset the handling through 3 and 4. Doesn't allow Mike to get that run he wanted.
Battle for the race lead. Ed Morris looking for his first win of the season. Mike Rominger looking for his second, his first since the season opener at Daytona. Jordan McGraw and John Sterling up here as well. Michael Thwaites, those guys all looking for their first of the season. Christian DeBoer is going to be the first one to come into pit road on this stint.
Man, you're going to see Senizak and Holtzer side by side again. It just doesn't end. There's such fantastic battling going all the way around this racetrack. It's hard to choose where we want to stick to.
Senizak will have the position at the line. Boy, it's that right side damage. I know it doesn't look like it, but it's certainly holding that 99 up. Because he would have, it should have been long gone without it.
Man, here it is, battle for the lead. Rominger's got a big run here into turn 3, dives to the inside of Ed Morris. Can he get the run off of turn 4? But McGraw's on the outside there. He's looking to have a big run down the front stretch.
It's almost like Daytona right now. If you get up off that inside line, you're going to have trouble and you're going to get freight trained. It's that way, just flip reversed. If you get off that outside line, you're going to be falling back. Thwaites, Elliott, Senizak, Griffin, Boyce, all down pit road. Tom and Massey follows them down as well. Top 7 still out on track.
Oh, man, who's coming to pit road when? Is Ed Morris going to come in now? I think he is. He's slowing up. No.
34 of Jordan McGraw came in on lap 70 for fuel and tires, and that's when the caution came out. Ed Morris came in to top off on lap 72 after he received the lucky dog. So the front 2 can go the longest, as now here comes John Sterling to the bottom of Mike Rominger.
He's waiting, biding his time right there. He'll dive deep into here, turn 3. Rominger's going to give it up. He might be coming down pit lane this time around. I don't think McGraw is. He's all the way to the high side. He is. Yeah, you just have to. You can tell that truck had fallen off right there. He just needs some free goods right now. Comes in. We're going to be just about 28 laps to go. Morris is still your leader. McGraw right there with him, battling it out. It's going to be hard, though. Ed's been carrying some pretty nice speed on that outside.
Something happened on pit entry with James Holtzer, because he came in quite a ways ahead of Jeremy Clifton, and Clifton has now gapped him by a good 5 or 6 seconds.
Well, and Holtzer was in his pit box for almost 2 seconds longer. I think maybe trying to get some of that damage repaired. As you see our leader come down pit lane along with John Sterling. Jordan McGraw back up to the lead.
Only one who stayed out yet again, Jordan McGraw. Now these guys can go the rest of the way on fuel from here.
Yeah, he can't stay out much longer.
That is not the concern.
He's going to have to come in this time around, in my opinion. I don't think he'll get that lucky break again where a caution comes out just in time. It'd be nice, but he's running that outside. Doesn't look like he's going to come in this time here.
Yeah, he did have a couple laps more fuel than everybody else. So McGraw now trying to play the same strategy that David Elliott played yesterday. Come in, try to then use the tire that you have and the less amount of laps that you have to use them to your advantage. I think he's coming in now as he's taking an inside line, as that's Tommy Massey running in the 14th position, going by him on the outside. And Massey has come into pit. And yep, here comes McGraw into pit road. Don't speed, son. Watch out.
I think he's good.
All right, we'll promote Michael Thwaites up to effective race lead. So Thwaites, who came in 5th, is now going to have the race lead when all's said and done. And he's going to have it by about 3/4 of a second.
Yeah, he came in 3 laps earlier than Ed Morris. We'll see, did he do enough in those 3 laps not to burn those tires up, or did he push it hard to try to get this lead? It'll be a good question to see. But Morris has Rominger all over his back bumper as well, so that might be Michael Thwaites' best friend.
James Holtzer from cone to cone, 49.6 seconds. Everybody else 41 or 42 seconds, as Jordan McGraw has already been passed by this group. McGraw is going to go from the race lead to about 9th, or to about 8th.
I think McGraw would need a caution right now. You know, maybe some of these guys have the question not coming down pit lane if just getting tires, and he's got fresher tires. Maybe that would help McGraw most at this point. I don't see where this works out for him over the next 25 laps. Might gain a couple of these spots, but I mean, he's 3 seconds behind David Elliott.
Waits, Senesac, and Elliott all came in on lap 104. Rominger 106. Sterling and Morris 107. McGraw 109. So McGraw has the freshest tires of the lot. So he's going to try that brawn strategy that David Elliott, trying to see if brawn will beat brains. As Ed Morris now goes for the race lead. Mike Rominger will go for second on Thwaites. And he'll take the second position.
Man, you know what I love? This isn't just a race that all of a sudden, because your 2 championship favorites have issues, that, oh, we're finally going to get our first, a different winner. They weren't even leading the race. I mean, no. They were just
battling for it, but they
weren't leading the race. So this has really been a tale of the rest of the drivers in this league stepping up here at Chicagoland and putting it to those championship drivers. And I mean, now you're going to really force their hand into trying to be successful in 2 weeks at Iowa.
Of all the drivers in the top 10 right now, only the man who sits in second position has a win. Everyone else looking for their first of the season.
How crazy would it be that we're talking about trying to get ourselves a new winner? The only other guy that could ruin that would do it.
13 races into the season. And you're right, the only other guy that can ruin it's right here.
Oh, boy, man. It'd be great for him, though. Book his spot into the next round. I mean,
yep, absolutely. Not have to worry. A lot of these series will be off next week. I know the Maestro's ARCA series is next week. I believe RICMOTECH is as well for Valentine's Day next Monday. So it'll be a nice little way to go into a small break and what will be the final break of the season.
Yep, make that final charge for the championship, and you have
4 races to go.
Our championship leaders going into this will be leaving this race scratching their heads, wondering, man, what did I miss today?
Only 3 races to go, pardon me. Iowa, Indianapolis, and Phoenix.
Ooh, that's a good set of tracks. Season. That's a good set of tracks right there. No more mile and a half. So you got 3 very different racetracks to finish the season.
Yep, absolutely. And just trying to look now and see here. For the Maestro series on Monday, I believe if it's not the same 3, I know 2 of the 3 are the same. Yep, Iowa, Homestead, Phoenix. The final 3 for Maestros on Monday.
I can't wait to see that Homestead race. I love those ARCA cars at Homestead. They are just so much fun to drive.
And very difficult if you get the tire strategy wrong.
I've learned that one before.
Yep, we're watching Jordan McGraw battle his way back up. McGraw up to 5th. Just past David Elliott and Bryce Senesac.
This is big for McGraw. He does have a lap led. I don't know if Michael Thwaites is led today, or John Sterling, or Mike Rominger.
Thwaites has Rominger. I don't think so. Sterling, I don't think so either.
See, what's perfect for McGraw? He's got himself a lap led, and currently fourth of your playoff drivers. Mentioning Ed Morris no longer in the playoffs, so big points night for Jordan McGraw, Thwaites, Sterling, and Rominger.
McGraw is absolutely flying right now. First half of the lap was a 15.65. Michael Thwaites in front of him was a half a second off. And he has closed that 2-second gap that he got after passing Senizak and Elliott. He's closed that down to a second in 2 laps.
I'm worried. Maybe he's not pushing it too quickly here. I mean, you do still have 17 laps to go. That's a good chunk of laps to really wear out your tires. So I hope he's not pushing it too hard. He's definitely flying, though. Making 5-lap fresher tires are really worth it. Trying to get himself into a top 4, maybe top 3 position today.
Brought that down to a half a second on Michael Thwaites, and now he can afford to calm down just a little bit. Not too much, but still a little bit.
I don't know if he's gonna have enough time or tires left, to be honest with you, to go out there and take the win away from Ed Morris, especially because Ed pitted only 2 laps before him. I certainly believe he can push hard for top 3 finish tonight.
He's 31.53 last time around for McGraw. Morris just crossing the line now. Just ran a 31.85. McGraw runs a 31.74, but that's because he caught Michael Thwaites at the end of the lap, and now he's going to get around Thwaites quite easily. Only 2.3 seconds between McGraw and Morris, but there are 2 cars between McGraw and Morris as well.
So I always like to ask this when we come to a track like this, and we're got a nice long green flag run to finish it.
No cautions, no.
No. I'm saying, if a caution comes out, up until what lap do you say I'm not pitting? I need to have track position.
I am awful with these kind of decisions. I'm not gonna lie. These guys do have one more set of tires on the wall. I can tell you who not to ask, Ed Morris, because whatever he does, everyone else isn't.
I'd say with 12, 13 cars would be on the lead lap, give or take.
I would say
anything with less
around
than
lap 8 or 9.
Okay, see, I would have even said anything less than 4 or 5 laps, I'd say no. So, see, we're right in that ballpark almost.
Well, with 8 or 9, if the caution comes out with 8 or 9 to go, that's going to give you 5 laps of green flag racing to go.
Yeah, I think that's the limit. I don't think anything more than that, it's going to be hard, because odds are you won't be the only person with fresh tires. So, yeah, depending on where you restart, is it a convenient spot? I mean, that'll be interesting. But you see here, Jordan McGraw just reeling in John Sterling and Mike Rominger with 13 to go. I think he might have himself a top 2 finish here.
He's slowly reeling in Ed Morris. What was a 2.3 second gap has now closed to about 1.7 between first and fourth. The problem, though, is that Morris is now getting away to the tune of about a second over Rominger and Sterling, and those two haven't really started battling yet.
Yeah, that's another thing, he's not just going to catch these guys. He does have to still pass them, and, both of these drivers are battling him in points, so they're not going to just let him by. They're going to race him hard, so I think it's just even better. I think right now, Ed Morris's best friend will indeed be Jordan McGraw, because he's going to force these guys behind him to use up their stuff, and he'll pull away.
Absolutely, as Morris starting to fall back a little bit. Nothing too significant. That gap is now down to under a second again between himself and Rominger. Point standings as they sit would see Mike Rominger leading the points coming out of this race tonight. John Sterling, Jordan McGraw, and Michael Thwaites will be the top 4. Bryce Senizak will round out the top 5. James Holtzer currently running in 10th on track after his pit road issue. And Nicholas Vroman out of this race, still in pit road. He's been on pit road repairing damage from a hardware malfunction for the better part of 35 minutes at this point. A tough night for the guys who have been dominating this championship, and one bad night could be all it takes, especially with 3 races to go in the championship.
Man, that's why you never give up. You keep fighting for everything you have. You know, you never wish bad upon others, but if your championship leaders are going to have a bad race, you want to be there to capitalize. And really, this is still pretty good for Vroman and Holtzer, because it looks like Ed Morris is going to win this race, and it's going to be a non-playoff driver to win it, so that doesn't lock somebody in. That still leaves all 4 of those final spots open.
For Morris, that'll be 2 wins in 2 nights for him if he can keep this up. In the winner of the Maestros race last night at Michigan, comes through the week before Valentine's Day with a very happy weekend ahead of him. As McGraw is still trying to catch John Sterling, the lap car of Tom and Massey certainly going to help. It slow up the 3 a little bit. And whatever advantage that McGraw had on that set of tires, he's pretty much scrubbed off, as all of those guys were in the 32.4s that last lap.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But I'll tell you this much: even if it's not a top 3 finish, this was a fantastic strategy for Jordan McGraw. I doubted it, and he proved me wrong. He's having himself a pretty good night right now.
Look at the point sheet. After tonight, it'll show him possibly in second, with John Sterling having not led a lap.
Would be a tie for second, maybe?
Possibly.
Yeah. It's big. That's big right there. And it's not like Holtzer's just behind you. You know, he's back in 10th. That's quite a bit of points behind you. And Vroman being 16th, even more points behind.
This has now turned into a must-win for Holtzer and Vroman, 2 guys that have won 90% of the races this season, are now in must-win situations to keep their championship hopes alive.
How insane. Oh my gosh. I didn't think we'd have such a big story to talk about like that, but that's just why. You just keep on racing. I don't care who's winning out there. You never know what can happen to your competitors, and you got to be there to take advantage and to capitalize on it.
It's like we said, both of these series will be at Iowa next week.
In 2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks. Yes, you're right. So the week off for Valentine's Day.
See, the problem is, everybody, Frank isn't used to taking a day off.
No, I'm not. As sad as that may be to say. Both of these series are at Iowa next week, both Maestros and this one. It's the penultimate race of the season where they differ. Indianapolis for the trucks, Homestead for the ARCA cars, and then Phoenix for both to end the season. 2 laps to go. Rominger's starting to close in, but unless Morris has a big problem, this is where they're going to finish.
How insane. I'm loving this right now. We're actually having a pretty good battle here for the 6th spot between Bryce Senesac and Dave Elliott. Two teammates.
Yep, 2 teammates. One of them racing for the championship, the other one not. So I would be very surprised
Yes.
if Elliott gets by Senesac here. Coming out of turn number 2, Ed Morris
Coasting
on
it.
on beautiful pitch strategy last night at Michigan, took the win, clinched himself into the championship final. Tonight, not in the championship playoffs. Plays spoiler. Ed Morris comes off at turn 4. He will win here at Chicagoland.
Man, congratulations to you, Ed. Great job. Wow. Playoff spoiler. That's how you do it right there. If you're gonna miss out because of a bad finish a couple weeks before, go out and win the next one, man. Prove it to everybody that you should have been in there. And great points tonight for Rominger, John Sterling, Jordan McGraw, and Michael Thwaites, your top 4 finishers in points of your guys in the playoffs right now.
Mike Rominger will come out of here with the points lead. John Sterling and McGraw should be in an effective tie with Thwaites rounding out the final 4, at least for the moment, as Ed Morris burns it down.
What a great
race.
view.
Yep. What a night we've had here tonight. From Chicagoland, great racing all around. As we'll start getting these guys ready for interviews here.
User was moved to your channel.
John, this is Frank and Angel in the ESBN broadcast booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, what a fantastic job for you today. Bringing it home in the 3rd position, our ESBN biggest mover of the race. At one point, man, you were kind of falling back there. Explain to us what was happening early on in that in this race.
The first run, I thought I was saving enough tire, and apparently I wasn't. So towards the end of the run, I just started dropping off, and it didn't help that my first pit stop, I was too far to the left, so I had to correct that, and then ended up quite a bit behind that second run and had to play catch up to get back in the draft and everything. That caution really helped me out at the end there.
And yeah, that the caution was big. I mean, you know, how does it feel to be, you know, you're here in the playoffs, you know, you have 2 heavyweights battling for the championship, and, you know, you're going to come leading out of here possibly tied for 2nd in points. What does that give you, you know, for the next 2 weeks before we head to Iowa?
I mean, unfortunately, I'm going to be missing Iowa, so, I mean, my goal was to try to win and make it into the Final 4.
Oh.
But especially with the overall iRacing chat, yeah, it's starting to get heated amongst the drivers that are trying to go for that Final 4, and I tried to give it my all there.
Well, sorry to hear that, John. I think you put on one hell of a show for us tonight. I gotta say, would you like to thank anybody? I'm sure you got a couple people you'd like to thank before we let you go here and at least celebrate this podium finish.
Yeah, I'd like to thank our sponsors, RICMOTECH, for Extreme Motorsports 99 series. I'd like to thank you guys for your broadcast. I'd like to thank my teammates at GT Motorsports and my main sponsor, beatamatch.org. Everybody go to beatamatch.org and you can sign up to be a bone marrow donor and help out cancer patients.
Well, that's something I think we can all get behind, John. Thank you so much. Congratulations again on the podium finish. Go ahead and celebrate it, and we'll see you guys in 3 weeks.
All right, thank you guys.
User was
So that
moved
was
out
your
of your
3rd place
channel.
finisher tonight, John Sterling. We'll go down to our 2nd place finisher tonight, Mike Rominger.
User was moved to your
And
channel.
Mike, you'll come out of here with the points lead tonight. A very solid run, 2nd place finish. Got to build some great momentum. Unfortunately, it's going into a week off.
Oh, I didn't know we had a week off. Darn.
Valentine's Day, unfortunately.
I'm going to lose all my mojo. Yeah, I was trying to get out in front of Ed on that last stop. I knew whoever got out in front was going to have the clean air and probably pull away. Dirty air's just, it was bad tonight.
It certainly was, and it appeared as though that outside line was going to be key if you wanted to either make a pass or try to maintain position. It looked, at least from our end, that turns 1 and 2 was a lot more powerful on the outside than 3 and 4. What could you feel in the truck?
Yeah, I was getting runs down in 1 and 2 on the bottom on Ed, and he just carried the momentum. If I could have had a right run at the right time to pull that off and stayed beside him on the back stretch, and maybe could have got the spot. But, you know, 3 and 4, couple times I ran high, and it seemed like it kept good momentum. But, you know, it's so hard. You get behind somebody in the dirty air, it just ruins your run.
Going to be talking a lot about dirty air in 2 weeks as we head to Iowa Speedway, a very difficult track, a little bit under a mile long. What are your thoughts going into Iowa for the third to last race of the season?
Well, I like Iowa. I've won there before, so I get it to cut in the middle and come off, without getting, the tail happy, and keep tires under it. I like Iowa.
All right. Anybody else you want to thank before we let you go and celebrate a second place finish tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody down in the team channel and you guys for putting on the show, and Rick for the league, and RICMOTECH for the sponsors.
All right. Your second place finisher tonight, but points leader going into Iowa in 2 weeks' time. Mike Rominger, bud, congratulations.
Thank you.
Before we let you go, Mike, I got to say, you guys put on the show for us, so you guys just make it easy for us. Thank you.
No problem, man. We're just driving.
User
And
was
driving
moved out of your
incredibly
channel.
well. As Angel, you should
was
be
moved to
with
your
our
channel.
race winner, Ed Morris, right now.
Ed Morris, this is the ESBN broadcast booth. You got us here?
Yeah, man, I got you.
Man, how about that? What a win for you tonight, man. I'm sure you got a lot of emotions with it. How's this one feeling?
Oh, this one's great, man. I mean, I swept the week. I took the win last night in the ARCA series, and I brought it home tonight. So this was definitely a good week for me.
Nobody ever wants to miss out on the next round of the playoffs, but this has got to be some pretty good redemption if that's going to happen to you.
Yeah, it sucks and it's great at the same time. We put ourselves into a bind a couple races ago and got a speeding penalty on pit road, and luckily was able to come back from that, and it put us into a real bind going into Watkins Glen, and we just couldn't get it done. So yeah, unfortunately, that's the way this playoff format is. We went out early due to some mistakes, but if we would have kept it cleaner, we would have been going into the Final Four right now. So that's tough luck, but.
I was just telling us here, Frank here, that I think being able, when you're running for two championships, you really have a lot of pressure on you, especially when they're back to back, and maybe getting eliminated was maybe beneficiary to you. That way you could really focus on one championship and kind of just come out here with no pressure at all and go race. And I think that could have led to, to your victory today. So, I'd say maybe sometimes it's just needed to lose. That way you can go out there and win, and hopefully win big as you come into that Monday night series.
Yeah, that's very true. I didn't have any worries going into this race tonight. It was just, let's go here and run, let's have fun and see what we can do. And we were fast. We were hanging out. Unfortunately, some of the top guys, they got into some trouble. James and Nick and all those guys, had some unfortunate things happen, and we were able to capitalize. I mean, we were hanging right there with them with speed, and it was just so tough with this track and the way the line was, and it was hard to pass and hard to do anything different with it. But things happen, and we were there to take advantage of it.
Yeah, hey, that's what you got to do. Take advantage when others have bad luck. They're certainly going to do it when you have bad luck. So congratulations, Ed. I'm sure you got a couple people we'd like to thank before we let you go celebrate back-to-back wins here tonight.
Appreciate it, man. I want to give a shout-out to Frank and RICMOTECH and all those guys over there for all the support that they give, not only to the Truck Series, but all of Extreme. They're big supporters on the road side, too, along with the oval side. So thank you very much to RICMOTECH. If you guys see some sim racing gear, those guys are the ones to see that they got the best stuff for the best price. So go over and check those guys out. Big shout out to the admins. Appreciate those guys and all the hard work that they do and keeping this organization running as efficiently and as smoothly as it possibly can. And then you guys for doing a fantastic broadcast. Our fans and viewers and sponsors and everybody out there that's watching us tonight, including the drivers that want to go back and watch this thing when they're done, wouldn't be able to do so without the hard work and the great job you guys do. So thank you. And then last but not least, the team, Primetime Motorsports. We had a lot of guys, a lot of trucks out there on the track tonight, working strategy and doing a few different things and changing up the lines. We were communicating a lot there, especially toward the end.
congratulations to all those guys and all their good finishes. And Primetime brought it home tonight first, so appreciate it.
Ed, man, congratulations. And just like I was telling Mike and Frank here, you guys do make the show easy for us. You make the show. You put it on for us, and you make our job fun. So we appreciate it. Congratulations again on your victory.
Thanks, man.
User was moved out of your
That
channel.
was your race winner, Ed Morris, and that'll do it for the interview session here tonight. Now, Angel, 210 laps of Extreme Series racing over the course of these last 2 days, one caution, and a ton of fantastic racing all week.
And one winner.
Yep, and one winner.
Yes. Man, that's just the quality of drivers that we see here in the Extreme Scoring League. You know, they got a couple of these series they race in. That shows just the quality of drivers out here. I mean, and it's hard to really have an entire race in Chicago like that, and you have one caution, and it was a freak incident is what brought the caution out. It wasn't even like it was, a driver mistake. It was a freak incident. So it's fantastic. It really does make broadcasting fun for us, and I know for the fans, they enjoy watching it, and I'm excited, man. We got a couple more races left, and we got a championship to still go win.
Absolutely. Green Flag Racing is always going to win over the fans, but we'll take a look now at the results here for tonight's race. Ed Morris, Mike Rominger, and John Sterling. You've heard from those three, our podium finishers tonight. Jordan McGraw and Michael Thwaites come home with top 5 positions. Bryce Senizak, David Elliott, Alan Hilton, Jeremy Clifton, and James Holtzer round out the top 10.
11th place, Rob Griffin having himself a nice finish tonight. Wallace Boyce as well in 12th. Christian DeBauer would be 13th. Tom and Massey was 14th. Kyle Knapp after getting into an incident in 15th. And Vroman, again, after his freak incident. Don't know what happened. Looked like his steering locked up completely. Would be the biggest loser in tonight's race, falling 16th place, but also losing a ton of points on those playoff drivers around him.
But he falls into a must-win situation going into Iowa in 2 weeks' time. So again, because of Valentine's Day, both series will be off next week. We'll return on the 21st with the Maestros ARCA series from Iowa Speedway. Flip on over if you want to stay with us here on ESBN. The Western States Racing League, round number 6 from Darlington Raceway, currently going right now. Coming up tomorrow at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time will be the Ghost Racing League from Pocono Raceway. That will be round number 5 of their season. Round number 2 for the USRA Truck Series will come to you at 7:50 p.m. on Thursday. On Friday night, it'll be the Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series. 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time start. My apologies. That will be from Daytona International Speedway in the ARCA cars for round number 3 of that season. And then following that at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, it'll be the Kool-Aid Monster Motorsports New Gen Cup Series. They will be coming from Watkins Glen. So for my broadcast partner, Angel Santiago, my name is Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening. Flip on over to the Western States Racing League at Darlington. We will see you in 2 weeks for the RICMOTECH Truck Series. And thank you over the weekend. You guys got us up over 2,000 subscribers.
Woo!
Thank you very much. And we'll hopefully 5,000 is the goal for next year. So we will see you guys in 2 weeks' time with the RICMOTECH Truck Series. Have a fantastic night, everybody.
RICMOTECH, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, RICMOTECH.com.